So welcome, Vicky. It's been a long time that you and me, have these conversations that we have about whatever is happening about the current affairs. So yesterday night, something really gruesome happened in Udaipur. The video of which has been, going viral across not just only in India but across the world, and people are commenting about it. So a guy. A nobody. Let's be very honest about it. Just before yesterday, he was a nobody. Nobody knew about Kanhaiya Nal before yesterday, and he was brutally murdered by two knife-wielding men. And the only thing was that not even him, but his child accidentally posted something on from his mobile phone saying that he supported Nupur Sharma. So how do you first of all see this kind of an attack that has happened?
Post, first of all, thanks for having me over, Akash. What I see about it is that, there have been incidents of violence which has happened after the comments, and BJP has suspended these two BJP leaders. That is one thing. But there was something very different about this, because, violence and then denial, etc., that these people had actually, they had actually tried to behead him, but they were not able to, so they just slit his throat, apart from the multiple stab injuries also, which the autopsies found. So, but what is very shocking is, this kind of a targeted killing, one, and the second thing, is to post a video, which at the very instance when I looked at it, I just felt like it was an Islamic State attack, because this is what they would do: beheading, videos, slitting throats. Not only Islamic State, even the Al Qaeda. So that is what first came to my mind, is like, what sort of an attack is this? This didn't look like an incident of a communal violence or anything of that sort. This had much more to it. There was a very loud message that they were trying to give, considering that ISIS has used knives as their weapon of choice, starting at the Nice attack in France, I think around 2015, I suppose. So it's not something which is very commonly seen. It's not like a murder or this which we see pretty commonly in other instances. This was a lot of messaging. It's not like, they were trying to escape, but they did make sure that they posted a video. They, celebrated the killing. They threatened our prime minister, and after that, they were caught. So in that way, it is very disturbing, and it's got a very large implication.
But Vicky, as you very aptly put, like after doing the heinous crime, they also posted a video and claiming and showing the weapons that were used in that act. So how do you see that these kind of bold statements being made after doing a crime and showing them okay, we have done it and we are proud of it. So what kind of a messaging are they trying to portray on both sides, to both the communities over there?
See, going back to the case straightforward, first and foremost, the thing which comes to mind is it was not a murder, it was not a killing which was done due to some personal enmity. That is one. And I thought that Facebook issue was also resolved, that he and the complainant sat down and he also said that I don't want to have anything to do with this, let's close it and all that. So that was one tipping point about that post which had come up. But the killing here, I mean, just using one reason of a Facebook post and then, carrying out a killing like this, it's not a simple killing. They could have, it's not a gunshot or something like that. The thing is, it was dramatized. It was played out, and they wanted to play it out, because the thing is, even ISIS actually, when they used to do these kind of executions, they made sure that, it was shot in a very good set, etc., and the messaging was there, and these videos would go very viral in their channels, like, appear in their Dabik magazine, etc., all that. So this was something to that extent. It was because not only did they videograph the killing, but they celebrated the killing, and even took responsibility for it, which is trying to say, in one way, is that, if there is something we don't like about, what you said or this one, many more will meet this kind of a fate. So that's what there have been killings like this in the past. 7 days back, if I remember, one Hindu boy was also killed at that time. But this became so big. It's only because of the filming and the messaging which went, and the style of killing.
Correct. So that is what we are saying there, because like we pointed out, like the ISIS used to do it, Al Qaeda used to do it, and of course ISIS became popular because of the fact that they used to, not just one beheading, there was mass beheadings used to take place. They used to make videos of it, and they would put on Twitter or on other social media platforms just to propagate how ISIS is brutal and the way of thinking. So is that kind of a modus operandi which is being which is being followed over here also?
See, the thing is, it's been spoken about for a very long time now, like a lone wolf attack. I mean, this somehow comes in a lone wolf attack, but there are two people, so that's one thing. A lone wolf attack does not necessarily mean that it is coming, from an organization. There is a person there, he feels something, he is radicalized by online, Islamic radicalization, which happens online. He borrows that ideology within the head and he executes what they're trying to ask you to execute. Number one fact, deniability for the terror organization itself, number one point. Second part, job is getting done, message is getting spread. No need of paying any money for logistics or weapons. And ISIS has for a very long time, even Al Qaeda, saying that weapons of choice henceforth should be the knife. You could push him off the building. You can burn down his car, which you need only a matchbox to do. Or this one, what is that? You can burn down the car or push him off the building. Use stones. All these kind of weapons they've said. But the Nice attack really popularized the knife for them. And then you must have seen there was a similar attack which happened in London also.
Correct.
Yes, in London too. Okay, and in these kind of things, and I remember in 2016, if I'm not mistaken, there was a very specific intelligence bureau report which said that these ISIS guys are planning a knife attack in Delhi. Well, that did not happen or something like that, but it was constantly being discussed because smuggling in arms, weapons, and all you come under the radar. But you're carrying around an ordinary knife. It is not very uncommon. The thing is, it could be a kitchen knife also or something like that. But the more important thing, more than the weapon, it is the kind of messaging and the kind of terror that they have, managed to, drive down people's minds is exactly what the ISIS always wanted. That is the whole thing. That because that video was extremely chilling. It was.
Correct. And making a video of such an attack also shows the kind of intention that it was not at a spur of a moment kind of a thing that happened. It took a lot of planning into it. So that was the motive. And even one of those guys who was there, who was one of the accused, actually made a video a few days before the attack saying that I will start beheading after June 17. So these kind of messaging also, do you think show a proper planning going into this whole attack that has happened?
Definitely, they have identified the target. One, I mean, they have, there was an issue with his Facebook post, which had become an issue. But then those people who were protesting there or gave a complaint against him, I mean, these people were not even part of that complaint also. That is one thing. So they will see, and if you also see that, he didn't come to work for a very long time. The shop was closed. And I think yesterday he opened it or something. And these guys, see, Akash, when you're planning to make a video of an incident, that means, you come fully planned. That is one thing. Okay, now this is, like give the warning, then, carry out the attack. They walked in like two normal customers. So it was very well decided that one would slit his throat and the other one would shoot the video. And then, that immediately after that, posting the video of this, not only the killing, but also of them claiming a responsibility. So it is properly planned. This is one thing. But again, I would like to say is that it is not necessary that you need a terrorist organization to do this kind of planning. They have anyway enough and more propaganda material. Like ISIS may not be, kind of on a hiring spree or something like that. But if you put the general public out there to think like what they want you to think, that is definitely a more dangerous scenario. Like the targeted killings in Kashmir. The targeted killing in Kashmir also is very similar. Your door is open and then you're shot. There's very, very little intelligence you can actually get out of these lone wolf attacks. And that is why they become so successful.
Like Vicky, and also when we talk about intelligence, so like, do you feel that, the intelligence agencies fail to nab or capture these kind of people when it comes to these kind of lone wolf attacks, because you don't have any kind of a threat to join them to any of the organizations. They could be just people watching some YouTube videos or some Facebook post, get radicalized, and then start doing these kind of attacks. So what filters can the agencies put on these kind of situations?
See, in this context, I'd like just to draw you back to the Glasgow attacks, actually, which happened, which was carried out by a guy called as Kafil Ahmed, who's from Bangalore, actually. There was absolutely no sign that, there was anything wrong with him or anything. His parents were two respectable doctors here in Bangalore. Okay, that is one thing. So he goes to Glasgow and he's, studying engineering out there and things like that. And he gets radicalized by these Al-Qaeda videos. And then he decides to drive a jeep into the Glasgow airport. Now, what possible intelligence can you have on a person like that? That is one thing. Even in the case of these two people, see, they won't have any criminal history. They won't have participated in a riot. I mean, they may not even have a driving challan also. Okay, that is one thing. So that much off the radar they are. But then the problem begins is that, the thing is, this content which these guys put up is very easily available online. And, repeatedly watching and things like that. And, it can tend to, you tend to self-radicalize yourself. You don't need a person or a mullah to come and tell you that, you need to do this. That is one thing. So this so where I think, man-to-man intelligence is impossible, Akash. And it is like, you can't expect a policeman for every citizen in this country. So where it has to be done is that, you have to identify certain sensitive areas where these things could happen. Okay, but that is again a far-fetched, because I tell you again, in case of Kafil Ahmed, he did not live in any sensitive area or anything. The content should not be made available at all. And I think there should be heavy scrutiny on that. I mean, they have to have a much better wing to, tackle online content. That is one. Posts going up on Facebook, informatory posts, how to prepare bombs videos, the importance of beheading, all these kind of things. Because if you need to tackle the lone wolf problem, I think you need to begin with the online space. Because on the ground, practically, I would say it's very, very, very difficult, or rather next to impossible to just, one person is being very normal and the next day he goes out and does this. You can't blame the intelligence for that, but yes, definitely for not taking down the content on this. So there has to be much more scrutiny on that front.
Right. We can also how do you see this? Do you see it like a case of a communal tension, spiraling out of control, or do you see this as a terrorist attack? Because what the MHA is saying, that they are considering it as an act of terrorism, but what the local police are saying, that this is more of a communal issue. So how do you see it?
No, how I would see this is what is that? How I would see this is, it is very much, they kind of go hand in hand. Actually, if you see after the Babri Masjid riots which happened, then there was a heavy recruitment spree, because, they come and make use of these boys at that time. Heavy recruitment spree which has happened. Now, communal riots have happened here also in the past month. There have been violent incidents, be it over the hijab issue or
Right.
these controversial comments and things like that. But this particular incident is not see, while it can incite communal violence, and there can be a lot of there can be a lot of damage which happens. It could, or it may not also. Also, the other factor is that this is pure messaging, because they in the Dabik magazine, that guy had written it very, very clearly that, we have to start targeting the infidels. We have to wipe out the Hindu community. All these kind of messaging he had given. So I would still find this to be part of that, that kind of system, while also making use of the communal riots as a reason. And as part of this, if the fear has gone, that means it has worked for them. If a communal riot happens, it has still worked for them. Okay, so It's both, actually. You can't just say it's only for that or only for this.
Correct, correct. Well, thank you, Vicky, because I know you're super busy, and we will definitely be closely watching whatever happens. The NIA will hopefully start probing into this whole matter, and we will see that what actually comes out, and what the two accused who have been arrested for the crime, they spill out the beans about. So they have actually the police still now are probing Pakistani links into this attack. So we will have these further discussions, but for now, thank you very much for coming on the show and having discussion with me.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you so much.